Alright, hello everyone to episode 3 of our playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII. I had to actually just restart the recording just a second ago because, pro tip, if you minimize the Steam version and then maximize it again to start playing, the controller stops working. And I'm not using the keyboard controls, so I got through my introductory spiel, saying hello, welcome, and I couldn't do anything. I was just standing there in the save spot. Alright, so in between episode 2 and episode 8, you can see right there, my HP is different. I went on a bit of a card playing spree, so I have quite a few new cards. I did eventually get the Quistis card from the Trep groupie in the cafeteria. Is the one I because there's 3 Trep groupies. There's 2 in the upstairs classroom, and there's one in the cafeteria, and the one in the cafeteria is the one that finally played it for me. The Mini-Mog card from the blue shirt kid running around the hall, and then most of the rest of these from the gatekeeper. And using the card ability on those fish on the beach, I got a bunch of AP too, so I learned Card Mod, which turns cards into items, like so. Just got a Mesmerized Blade from that. And then, using the Magic Refinery skills, I turned the items I got into magic. Which allowed me to junction powerful magic onto my character from the beginning of the game. I could have done more, and to a certain degree, I think I overdid it already, as it is. But I could have gone a lot further, but it's not really important. One thing I am going to do before we continue on with the plot is start a side quest, because like most Final Fantasy games, there are hidden side quests that you don't really know about until after the fact, in a way, so you kind of have to prep for them ahead of time almost. Alright, so the draw point is still not there. That's a shame. But the side quest, to initiate it, just talk to the library girl with the pigtail. Okay. And that's really all there is to it to get started. Let's talk to her again, just to be on the safe side. Right. This character is relevant to the side quest later on. It's just the library girl with the pigtail. And you leave the library and return. And I believe the scene is different. No? Alright, I must be too early for it. Yeah. That's fine. It's one of these very, very minor side quests, but actually have almost no effect on the gameplay at all, because you can complete it to varying degrees of success, and you get the same rewards no matter how thorough you are in your completion of it. So, I'm just going to advance the story, which is to go to the dormitory. And Squall is his roommate. Because it's a shared room in the dormitories. Yeah, I don't think you ever meet his roommate. It's just an open room. If you go into Squall's room, and getting changed will officially begin the actual exam. So now I'm in my school uniform. And now I'm walking out to the main lobby to begin the field exam. Okay, so here's our newest party member. He's a martial artist. Yeah, I'm skipping the tutorial on his limit break. But like Quistis and Squall, he has his own limit break too, with its own unique mechanics. For him, it's quickly entering button combinations. Interesting how Cypher isn't in uniform. And yes, Cypher, Rajin, and Fujin are the disciplinary committee for the club. It's kind of a Japanese trope where the biggest douche in the school is always the head of the disciplinary committee because they are totalitarian nutjobs. They just like bullying other students. It's an interesting dynamic that is common in Japanese media. Oh, burn. We are Squad B. Great leadership right there. Okay, so enter Robin Williams. He's going to explain the assignment. It's a little bit late now to back down. But okay. Now, in order to get the best score on your exam or your report card, do not do anything. Do not talk to anyone. Just proceed with the mission. It's a professionalism thing. So if you're wanting to get the best score on your tests, just go. You know. It's a very awkward silence. Those who have not played Final Fantasy VIII but have played the Kingdom Hearts series should be familiar with Cypher's use of chicken wuss. Go-to insult. Ah, the mystery woman. It's a bit of a headache for Quistis there. Alright, now I'm using a controller. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, button 1 is A. I think button 3 is X. I don't know. But either way, just driving along, off-roading, doesn't matter. It's a very brief tutorial on driving a car. You don't do it very often in the game anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. A rare moment of sentimentality from Cypher. And then we all get onto the sub. And again, it's important not to talk to anyone. There are things you could do in that moment, but for the best score, resist temptation. The seed salute. And apparently Cypher has failed the exam several times over. So Zoo is very familiar with Cypher at this point. The Dukedom of Dollet. So I mentioned in a previous episode, I forget which, that the country of Galbadia had invaded all of its neighboring lands and has been occupying them for a while. Dollet is one such neighboring land, and the G army, G for Galbadia. So the army just invaded Dollet out of nowhere, and Dollet has always been occupied, but just martial law enforced is kind of surprising for them, I guess. So there's been a bit of a rebellion there since then. So we are a mercenary team that's been hired by a country to fight a war for them, essentially. To liberate the city. Okay. Again, don't talk to anyone. Choosing not to talk to anyone will just advance the story anyway. even if you do choose to talk to everyone, you'll get back to the same screen eventually through the dialogue and have to choose to talk to someone else or just do nothing to continue the plot. When you're given an order, just accept it. Like, follow Cypher's orders. He is the boss. I don't know where the exit is. There we go. Alright, so Beaches of Normandy style, we're just storming on into the battle. It's, the central square. Yes, that's actually good advice. It's actually very important advice, is to junction the GFs properly. Typically wants to put 1 GF per person. And Cypher is a teammate for this. Oh, and Zell. Okay. And I collected a good bit of magic. Christus is not currently in the party, but you can exchange all of her magic with other party members. Let's see, what do I want to do? Something like that. Let's actually go with Squall first. He's the protagonist. Okay, and something like that, maybe? Alright, sorry, I should probably do this without recording. Just wasting time a little bit. And I don't have any... Close enough. Good enough. He doesn't have to be full health, because he's pretty powerful here. Alright. So, do not talk to anyone. Just follow Cypher. Okay. Now, an interesting thing about this here, according to the lore of the game, the enemies do not, like, human beings do not have magic, according to the lore of the game. And yet, I'm drawing magic off of the soldiers here. It's a little bit interesting. I'm actually going to kill all but one of them, and then draw from the remaining one. And it's a good thing he has Cure. Cure is a very important spell to have, just at all times. But it's a good thing I'm drawing from someone who has Cure, because that allows me to cure myself while stalking, essentially. I want to get 100 Thunders on Squall as well, if I can. Okay. There is a boss coming up at the end of this sequence that is weak to Thunder, so having Thunder on my elemental attack is a good thing to have. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to draw Thunders for Squall, so that his physical attacks will have Thunder damage. I should point out that Cypher also uses a Gunblade, which means his trigger pull, he can also pull the trigger for extra damage. It's a bit trickier to use his, because Squall's is pretty easy to do. But Cypher's is not quite as easy. I don't know how much I have, but I can't say no to a limit break. And that's another benefit of junctioning those tornadoes to Squall's HP, is that because his max HP is so high, he can have the highest HP of the group and still get limits off pretty consistently, because he's considered to be at, you know, less than 30% HP. Okay, so you get ambushed. And how much you draw from an opponent is based on their character's magic stat. Notice how I'm getting higher numbers on average with Cypher than I am with the other two. That's because I put my most powerful magic on, well, most powerful junction stat, I should say, onto Cypher. Cypher's magic. So he's getting about 9 cures every time he draws. Meanwhile, if Zell does it, he's only going to get... Well, okay, he got 8. I guess that's not bad. The enemies must have a pretty weak magic resistance. I'm not entirely sure exactly how the stats work out. See, that time he only got 2. But now, Cypher only getting 1 that time kind of implies he's full on Cure now. Yes, he is full. I'm actually gonna draw a few Thunders. Just continue to not speak to anyone. Just continue into the city square. Yep, just go ahead and antagonize them. Why don't you? Alright. There's also a significant difference in damage between Zell and Squall, because Squall has something junctions to his strength. But that's alright, because I just learned Strength Junction. So whenever a GF learns something, immediately change what they're learning next. Always. Okay, and that's fine, that's good. And that's good as well. Alright. But that means Zell can now junction something to his strength. Just do Blizzard, I guess. How much Cure does he have? 46. Alright, so he does need to do a little bit more drawing here. 38 for Squall. Alright. So, what I'm going to do is move some of Cypher's magic over to someone else. And actually, I'm going to give... I'll leave Blizzard on there for now to help with drawing stuff, but Cypher is a temporary teammate. He does not stick around. So I don't really want to collect too much magic for him because he's not important. I mean, he is important to the plot and everything. He's an important character. He's just not a teammate forever. So right now, he's just here to help me draw things more than anything else. Okay, Squall is full up on most things now. I can just go ahead and kill him. I don't need that much. And Cure is something I can refine here soon. See, the thing with this game is that it's difficult to know. Yes, okay. So after clearing things out, now you talk to Cypher. You talk to him twice. And now we sit here and wait. Scaring the poor pupper. Time passes. Okay. So we see a bunch of soldiers sneaking on past down the main road. You look up top to the top of the mountain over there. All right. Okay, so now we follow him up the mountaintop to secure the facility on the top of the mountain. There are some random encounters along the way with more Galbadian soldiers. So junctioning strength for Zell was actually a pretty big boon for him right there. Worked out well. Don't talk to any of the soldiers, just keep moving. Communication tower. It's always been a nesting ground for monsters. If your guys are going to go up there, be careful. Alright, yeah. So now we fight a monster. Not a soldier. Yeah, the last hit in this game does determine the XP that the character gets. Just fired here. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. But I'm not interested in giving Cypher experience because I'm not going to be playing as him after this, so he can just draw. That's fine. Yes, you notice how Squall is now in the critical health range when he's still, 300 hit points above the next lowest person. Alright, so now is the time to exchange all of Cypher's magic onto someone else. And if you can't, then give it to Quizzes. Gazelle and Squall are both full on cures, which is good. I mean, cure is a very important spell to have. A new spell from the red-garbed soldier, the captain, I guess. Scan. Well, scan's worthless. You can hit Y or triangle, depending on the controller you're using. I guess button number 2 to skip your turn. And if you're the next one up, then it'll skip directly to you. So if you have multiple people who are ready to go, like their bar is filled, you can press the same button as the menu to skip their turn and potentially trigger limit breaks early. Okay, so they're repairing the communications tower for some reason. As long as you make it out of the battle alive, you're one step closer to fulfilling your dream. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that. It's personal. Okay. So that is the girl that you ran into in the hallway, or I ran into the hallway. Yeah. Well, it's only been a day. It's only been this morning, even. Okay, so do not jump down after her. That will negatively affect your score. Totally unprofessional. Walk the long way around. That is a subtle hint from the game that you might want to prepare for a boss battle. And now that Cypher has left the party, and notice he is not in the reserve party either, where Quistis is, because he's not coming back. But Selfie now is a junction. I'm thinking and talking at the same time. Alright, so go ahead and junction her with... she actually inherited all of Cypher's spells when he left the party, so she has the 7 cures that he had, which works out fine. Which actually means what I want to do is go to Quistis and give her all these cures as well. And I'm going to actually use a few of them real quick. Alright, just get everyone up to snuff. Alright, well that's frustrating, right before entering. Okay, so we get inside. Communication tower. There's a draw point over here, blind. That's going to be a spell that I'm probably not going to use much of. Okay. I'm going to hit this save spot, and I'm going to check to see how long I've been recording, because I know what's coming next, and it's a little bit time consuming, so it might be wise to split up the Dollet raid into 2 parts. So let's see. Yeah, no, this is a good stopping point for this episode, episode 3. So I will see you guys in the next one.